JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 2nd of April 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So you feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is the XY, the dollar index, and yeah, of course, we did get the U.S. non-farm payrolls numbers, which came out much better than the forecast, and of course, much better than the previous number, which was adjusted, of course, as well. So the non-farm payrolls came out at 916K versus the 647K expected, and the previous 468K. So participation rate increased, of course. Unemployment rate stayed as forecast, but beat the previous number. So the previous number was at 6.2. The current unemployment rate is 6%. So the only issue is the average hourly earnings on the year-on-year and month-on-month basis. Those have declined, and well, I mean, with the month-on-month figure, that one even dropped into negative territory. So for now, let's see how the market will digest all this information. But at the moment, I mean, we're seeing that yes, there is some positivity here in the dollar. However, not much. Still, I mean, it's still kind of balancing above this downside line, above this upside line. So, yep, in a way, there is still a chance for this one to reverse back to the upside. So, we'll keep an eye on this one. And, of course, probably this is where it's going to stay here for this week. The whole action will be on for Tuesday, and yep, we'll see how that's gonna play out then. But long story short, from the technical side here, if DXY suddenly falls back below the 200-day EMA and below this these two lines, the upside one and the downside one, and falls below the 92.80 zone right here, now that's where yes, we could go maybe for some slightly lower areas. For the upside, because we're still hanging above the 200-day EMA, above both of these lines, yep, we are still kind of a little bit more positive. So let's see how this is going to play out next week. Silver. Silver is flat today, of course, understandable, but looking at the week overall, how it performed, it was a bit of a roller coaster ride. However, looking at this weekly chart here, you can see that initially we had a strong drop here, and it moved lower below this 24.84 territory right here. But as you can see, the bulls managed to push the price back above this. So yep, and now in a way it's going to be very interesting to see how next week is going to play out, because this here, if we apply technical analysis, of course, we can see ourselves here a nice little pin bar, which could potentially be seen as a reversal signal. So however, of course, all eyes are going to be on DXY as well. Jumping into Brent oil, so actually I'm going to stay on the weekly just to see the overall picture. So yep, we are kind of flat for the week. We remained below this downside line taken from the high of the 8th of March. We managed to remain above this key support zone right here. So yeah, I mean, in a way, the bulls are still kind of feeling okay, I would say. However, they would probably more bulls could join in if this downside line could get broken and if the price would jump above the 66.53 territory marked by the low here, the not well. The first week of March low, that's how I'll put it here. And if I jump in, actually, let me just jump into a daily chart, it will be easier. So this 66.53 territory marks the low of the 10th of March. There we go. So a nice good push above that may open the door towards higher levels. For the downside, I need to see a drop below this whole highlighted area here, clearly visible here on the weekly chart, and a nice good drop below it, yes, may kind of, let's say, signal a possible further kind of rollover here to the downside. So yeah, let's see how this is going to play out next week. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is popping higher, moving nicely to the upside. It's positive for the week. It's trading above this upper side of the falling channel, and yeah, we're slowly kind of crawling towards the all-time high, which is roughly around the 61,700 level. And let's see if during the weekend we can reach that area. If we can, then yes, of course, that's great news for the buyers, because again, a nice good pop up of the 61,700 level would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more buyers could join in. So keep that in mind, guys. Now jumping into Ethereum here very quickly. Similar story, also pushing nicely here to the upside. So in a way, this idea worked out perfectly. The one that I said mentioned previously, that if the upside line here, this one taken from the low of the 23rd of December, continues to provide support, we may see a nice rebound here, especially, and move higher, especially if the rate moves above this little short-term tentative downside line. And as you can see, we managed to break it nicely, and yep, now we're coming close to that 2039 territory marked by the highest point of February, or in other words, the current highest point of this year. I don't think that. No, let me just quickly double check. No, that sorry, that's the all-time high as well. So my bad on this one. So yeah, guys. I mean, on here, for example, you can see that yes, we are slowly approaching that all-time high again. But will we overtake it? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Most likely the kind of the action around this level could come during the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, so keep your eyes on that if you're following the crypto world. So yeah, it's good. It could be quite interesting, but what also could be interesting is if we get a push above this barrier, but then still, for example, the daily candle drops back below the 2039 territory right here and stays below it, then yes, of course, this will signal a false breakout, and maybe we could see a bit of a decline here. So again, let's see how this is going to play out. For now, we're more positive than negative, especially as long as the rate trades above the highest point of March right here. Actually, not the highest point. The highest point, the high of the 13th of March. There we go, near the 1942 mark. Ripple is pushing higher here, and yep, again, it's coming close to this, or I should say, it has already came close to this 0.5810 zone. I talked about this level this week, and what I need here is basically that daily candle to remain above this area, because so far, to be honest, we're just kind of observing this one because, well, I mean, looking at this picture, it seems it's struggling with this barrier because it keeps having these false breakouts, but doesn't really keep the daily candle above it. And if we finally get that move here and we finally get that daily candle staying above it, then my next target is, of course, the the highs here, the levels, the 0.6436 or the 0.6562 here. So yep, very strong area of resistance around here. Let's see how this is going to play out. If we can reach that area, and if we can, then yes, we'll go for some higher levels if these get broken. Jumping into AUDCAD here. So AUDCAD is still struggling with this downside line. So I'm keeping an eye on it, and yep, I need to see either a good strong move above this downside line, and I would like to see the daily candle staying above this downside line, and ideally also staying above the 200-day EMA in order to get a little bit more excited with higher levels. Of course, a break of this barrier here, the high the 30th of March near the 0.9644 zone, could do the trick for more buyers as well. But again, a long way here to go still. That's why for now I'm keeping an eye on this downside line, keeping an eye on this 200-day EMA. If all this continues to provide resistance, then yep, the downside could be not off the table still. And preferably, I would still, for the downside, I would still prefer to see a drop below the 0.9535 territory, somewhere around here, which, as you can see, we did get a break, but we on this week we had only a false breakout here. So we prefer to see the daily candle staying below this area in order to go for lower areas, lower levels. USDCAD, very quickly on this. So USDCAD is basically still stuck at the same place. I mean, I talked about this pair this morning, and not much has changed, to be honest. And yep, we're still kind of balancing above this downside line here. So we're probably gonna wait for next week to see if there could be some decent moves here on this pair. Certainly, this could present itself with nice opportunities for the upside. I'm still keeping an eye on this 1.2590 level. A nice good daily candle staying above it could increase the chances for this pair to move higher. But if suddenly it drops back below this downside line and falls below the 1.2505 territory right here, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for more sellers. Now, US dollar against the Russian ruble. I mean, this is something that you probably don't look at very often, but let me just clear up this chart a little bit here and start fresh. So, I do like to look at these pairs sometimes, these exotic pairs, because they tend to present themselves with some nice opportunities. We're currently, as you can see, we're currently stuck near a key resistance area. Which also is seen kind of as a nice kind of let's say upper side of the range, because as you can see the range is roughly in between these two areas. So this is where kind of, and this range has been in play from around mid-November of last year, and like I said, now we're testing the upper bound of it. So will we get a clear break above it? Well, we'll just have to wait and see, guys. But certainly this could present itself with a nice opportunity. If the daily candle, let's say, pushes nicely strongly and stays above this area, and then yes, we could go for these higher levels, like for example the high of the 13th of November near the 77.75 level, or we could go for the area somewhere around here, near this in the inside swing lows here of 29th of October and the 2nd of November near the 78.60 level, approximately around there. But again, for now, I mean, we're just keeping it cautiously bullish. Let's see if we can get a clear move above this. For the downside, now, within the range, I would need to see a drop somewhere below this little territory right here. Below, between the 75.23 and the 75.42 zones here. A nice good, strong move below this could kind of open the door towards the lower side of this range right here, and then yes, we could take it from there. Now, let me just quickly adjust this for our future reference, and there we go. So, beautiful chart, very nice technical moves here. So, let's see if we can clear up this upper side of the range. GBPUSD, very quickly on this, still stuck above this 21-day EMA, and just kind of stuck on bang on this downside line here. So, as I mentioned to you this morning, what I need here is I need to see a push above the 1.3847 territory, and I would like to see the daily candle staying above it in order for me to kind of go for some higher levels, but so far I'm not really getting that. So yeah, that's why I'm going to be waiting here, and probably waiting for next week. But certainly it could present itself with a nice opportunity going into next week. Similar story with EURUSD, drifted a little bit to the downside. Dollar, of course, is enjoying the positivity surrounding the employment numbers, and yeah, this is the effect we're having here on EURUSD. For now, it's drifting a little bit lower, however, not significantly. So again, similar story as with GBPUSD. Probably all the action could come in next week. So keep that in mind. For now, I'm gonna just continue observing this downside resistance line, which currently is still intact. This one's drawn from the high of the 25th of February, and then we'll take it from there, guys. So that's it for this session. I hope you found it useful, guys. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate you joining in. Appreciate your views, your likes. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, guys, and I'll see you on Monday at my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.